actually, this is as real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Guest Berry Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In Your Face.
All right, welcome to the UCW radio show, and I have another great guest waiting in the wings to come on the show. She's an actress. She's been involved in the world of pageantry, and she's also an author. And I think above all of that, she's a survivor. And I'm not going to get any deeper than that. I want her words to echo to all our listeners. Then you'll see why I'm excited to have her on the show. All right, but without further ado, let's bring on Patty McCall. Patty, welcome to the UCW radio show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm excited, too, to have you on here because we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, I would say so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a difference.
Well, you're making a difference, but you've had an interesting journey to date because you didn't start in the entertainment industry. You weren't even anywhere near it for a while.
No, I'm actually an original Okie from Muskogee, Oklahoma.
Right. So let's talk about Oklahoma for a second. What do you think about your City Thunder?
Yippee! How exciting. Actually, I was sitting with my friend here, which is an LA Lakers fan, and oh my goodness, I got to rib her. I was I was jumping up, and oh man, I was so excited. Yeah, because it put us on the map, right?
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, they just came out of the box, and all of a sudden, boom, finals. How do you like that?
Yes, I was there in April for the film festival, so I'm excited for them.
Good. See, I want to get you all jazzed up so we can really get you flowing and talk about your story and be energetic. So I figured I'd throw that City Thunder in there for you.
Yes, on a lighter note, yes, and
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm excited.
Okay, well, I think things are going to get interesting. I can't take sides either way because I have somebody from Miami coming on the show soon. So, yeah, I don't want to put myself in any issues.
Okay, all right.
Okay, but you've been, you again, going back, beginning, it wasn't entertainment. You worked in finance, out of all things.
Well, I was in banking, yes, for 10 years. I actually was a teller supervisor and then customer service, and that was through kind of raising my 3 children. I have 3 kids, so yeah, I had to do something to help make a living.
Yeah, well, you went a little bit further than that, because you actually competed in some beauty pageants.
Oh, no, you had to bring that up.
Of course I did. This is
okay, well, let me tell you a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I actually was a board member on the Miss Oklahoma, so I used to judge and help actually the ladies prepare. So everyone was like, you've never been in a pageant, so everybody couldn't believe that. So I'd never really competed. So at the time I was married, and they said, well, we want to help you, and we want you to compete in the Mrs. Oklahoma. So yes, I did compete, and I was runner-up. And the great thing about it is I had a platform about character counts. So that was the main thing. I got to speak in the schools. My kids were, in the school system, and I was homeroom mom and PTA member. And so that gave me a purpose. So I would speak in the schools about character counts, and then I did compete to see what it was like to be on the other side is the only reason that I did that. And I definitely like being on the other side and helping. So, but it was a great experience, yes.
Well, I think you needed to do something like that because it's like teaching someone how to be a boxer, but you never boxed. You know, you need to get in there and do it in order to really show them the way.
Yes, and it did. It really gave me the tools, you know, to be able to carry that on and to tell these ladies, oh, well, this is my experience, and so this, you know, is how I would do it. So, yes, it really helped.
Okay, well, now you did that, and that led you to doing something else in entertainment. Yeah.
Well, I've done a few little things. I've really had fun with it. I'm not one of these ones to say, oh, my goodness, I'm going to be famous and be a movie star and all this. No, I do it because I love the experience of it. So my thing was, when I left Oklahoma and came to L.A., I was fortunate enough to meet a casting director that sent me to an audition, and I got a little part in a movie called Montana Amazon, and it was a great experience. I was one of the I was actually the love interest of one of the main characters, and so it was really, you know, a great experience itself. So, and now I've started producing these short films for prevention and awareness against domestic violence. So,
well, let's I just want to backtrack just a wee bit. You went to L.A. You just hooked up with a good casting director that got you in the film, but that actually sparked your interest more so in the world of entertainment and with your daughters and everything else. So I just wanted to touch on that because you've been doing some great things with them as well.
Oh, yes. Well, of course, this was all in Oklahoma. My one daughter, she was on the covers of Teen Magazine, and so I kind of, you know, helped her with her career when she was younger. And then my other daughter was on Broadway, and she was in plays and, you know, Wizard of Oz and Annie. And so I was the mom that was behind the scenes is how I started. And their manager actually sent me on a commercial, a local commercial, and I actually was cast for that. It was just a convenience store commercial, so I kind of got in my blood there, and then I was doing like print work with my daughters, you know, as mom and daughter, and so, you know, it was fun for me. It was kind of second, you know, to my career, but it gave me just something to do with them that was, you know, very exciting. So yes, I had a great time doing that.
Okay, now you moved forward from there, and then you actually became an author as well, and that's what your current goings on are entailing, your book. Yes,
and you know, I never really thought of myself as an author, but what happened was it was part of my healing process. The book is not a journal of me when I was going through everything. It was a journal of when I would wake up at night and be like, I have got to get this onto paper, you know, to release it. And so that's what I did. I started doing that for about a year, actually. And when I got done, it was just on a notebook, and there was just teardrops on the notebook. I mean, yes.
Well, can we just, backtrack a little bit? The name of the book is Unmasking the Pain Within. Now,
yes.
What brought you to writing this book?
Well, I mean, that was basically what happened at first. I didn't realize that I still had all of this, you know, bound up inside of me, and I needed to release it. So after I had done that, I really was going to put this up in a closet. It was in a closet, actually. And I met another lady, and the first time that I'd shared my story since I had gotten to, you know, L.A., because I just kind of had forgotten that part of my life, I thought. But when I met her and I started sharing my story with her and we came close, she's like, you know, I come from child abuse, and I've always wanted to help other women and you know, be able to have a voice. Well, so when I did, she's like, I will help you get your journal put into manuscript form, because she used to work for a a high-powered, she was a secretary for someone. And so I would have never typed it and put it into manuscript form. But with her help, we spent 3 months, and we did that. And after we done it, I just started kind of shopping it around and seeing who might be interested. And I found a publisher and, and decided, well, this is my way to help others. If I tell them what's happened to me, then, it might help someone else. And that's kind of how it started. And really not realizing how I was going to do it, I started from LA and went on a book tour across the United States.
Oh,
and
wow.
and I really, it was going to take $5,000 more for them to market it for me. So, I didn't have the money to do that, but I had a message. And so I started across the U.S., and I would just call the local radio stations, the TV, work with the shelters, the women's shelters, and tell them that, I'm a survivor of domestic violence and now an advocate, and, could they help me get the word out? And so I would have the book signings, and these women would come to me, and they would stand in front of me, and even men, actually. The crazy thing about it is I had so many men, and they would be like, Patty, I saw you on TV, or I heard you on the radio, and I'm here to tell you you've given me hope. And I was like, you mean that? And a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, you mean that is what I'm doing? I'm giving these ladies and men hope to overcome and move on.
Right.
And and so it just gave me these butterflies and this good feeling just to know that I could be touching someone else's life and helping them, to move on. And so that's kind of, what I started doing, and realizing now this was my purpose in life now. And so I had worked for Joey Travolta, which is John Travolta's brother, during the summer, producing short films for kids. And actually, I say that was commercials and music videos. And so, that's how I kind of got the blood about production. I'm like, I love seeing things, taking an idea and then see it come to life. Mm-hmm. And so then that's how I started saying, well, I could do these short films, making a difference, awareness, prevention, against child abuse and domestic violence. So in turn, I went down and formed a nonprofit called PAIN, which is, comes from the book. That's the reason. And then it stands for Prevention Awareness in Neighborhoods.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I know that's all great stuff, and I know, what I was trying to get to is get to the heart of what you've been through, because I know a lot of our listeners that are tuning in and they're hearing your story, and they may be aware of your book, they may not, they're aware of it now, and I wanted them to understand that this wasn't just you reading something in a paper or knowing something and writing a book. You actually been through some things yourself.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand, if you haven't been in an abusive relationship, people will ask, why did you stay in it? And so I think that through the two that we're going to be producing, that's a lot of what, I want people to understand. So you can know different signs or different things that will help you not to, get into the situation and stay in it, But my thing was my children. That was my whole thing. I wanted to protect my children. I wanted them to have a normal life. And over here, I was just saying, I'll take anything just to get my kids grown so that they can, have this normal life. And, I think I actually my father was abusive, verbally more than physically so much. But I saw my mom, take a lot of that. Uh-huh.
Sometimes that's worse.
Yeah. Well, the scars, I think, remain there. where the physical, sometimes you can get rid of that bruise on your arm or that kick in your back that's left the bruise. But, the words sometimes really hurt and stay with you. We just produced a little PSA called Words Hurt that I did with the kids. And, and that's what they told me, like, kids are always saying mean things, and that's another thing that I'm trying to, make them in the schools, this bullying, so that's part of what I'm doing also.
Well, I think that's fantastic stuff, Patty, because, a lot of people, I guess they go through things and they won't admit it, or they don't want to admit it to themselves that they're in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a hiding factor, maybe embarrassment, maybe denial. You would know better than most on the mindset there.
Yes, and a lot of times, well, for instance, myself, I was telling you I was homeroom mom, I was involved in the PTA, and all these things, and so I'm the front of the town there, I'm like, I have something I feel like I have to uphold, and, that I don't want to be ashamed, people looking down on me, and think, and so that's another reason that I hid behind this mask. That was part of the reason we named the book that, and the publishers, did too, because a lot of people are doing that. They're hiding behind this mask, because I would show up there in the homeroom mom with the cookies, and, I'd have this happy face on and be all, but the night before he may have kicked the fire out of me and, in the back and twisted my arm, up to the back of my neck and, and pushed me in the closet and hit, locked the door. So, but when I got to that school, I didn't want those people to know that. So I would just be like, oh, here's the cookies and I'm here for the kids and, and so that's the thing. And it's like not that I was a false person and I didn't want people to, but it was just like, I didn't want them to see that because I was so ashamed,
I understand. I understand that. The one thing that I can never understand is the person that gets abused is one thing. Is that how the person that's doing the abusing? I mean, how do they even look at themselves in the mirror the next day? Really?
Well, and that's the thing, because they would. Okay, I think in my instance, my ex had also had an alcoholic and abusive dad too, and so the thing about it is, when you grow up in that environment, that's what you see, and he had a lot of pain and hurt inside, which I think he took out on me. Well, and then the next day he would be so sorry. And then this is what's so confusing in the lady that's taken it or the abuser, whoever it is, because you're sitting there and they're saying, I love you so much. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Oh my God, how could I do that? And, you're everything to me. And, please don't leave me. And see, they're begging that to you. And it's so then there again, I don't know, but that's a good question. And then another thing is, in my instance, I grew up in the church, and so, I think I'm supposed to submit to my husband. I think I'm supposed to, you think that you're supposed to be married forever, and, all of these things, and so, it's confusing there again, that you think you're doing the right thing, by staying married.
But you're not doing anyone any favors by doing that.
Yeah. And see, that's why I want to speak out, and I really do. These ladies and that's why one of my big things that I talk about, and one of the big things is the awareness of these shelters. Mm-hmm. I truly believe, even though I didn't go to one, but after visiting all of these ladies' shelters and women's shelters, and they do have some for men too. I really don't want to exclude the men because I know,
mm-hmm.
But as I went to these shelters and I visited them and I see what they're doing, I'm like, I really recommend that. Don't stay in the situation. Please just call. Their shelters everywhere. You don't realize that because a lot of times, they're not advertised because they are supposed to be a safe place for you to go. Mm-hmm. See? So they're not advertised as much, but if you, there is hotline numbers. I do have some in the back of my book, and I have 800 numbers, for people to call.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, you can get help.
Well, do you think that, and again, we spoke about it a little bit when this happens to men and women, okay? It's not just women.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so the person that's staying there, obviously something has to spark something. There has to be something out there that sparks something in them to not deal with the abuse and get out before it gets worse, because it doesn't get better.
No, it doesn't get better. And that's the thing. You think it's going to, and you think you can change them. But if they don't get help, I have been working with some counselors now. There are programs for the abuser to go to. And so if they will get help, sometimes, they will change if they realize what they're doing and they go through the process. But normally you can't change them because you don't have that ability to do that. And they're just going to keep taking it out on you. Mm-hmm. But, yes, but, there are help for the abuser too to go to if they want help, to work this out and change.
Well, Patty, in your opinion, and it's said, and I've heard it time and time again, and I kind of believe it, that when someone raises their hand to you in that respect one time, that's one time too many. So
yeah.
There's always that opportunity for it to happen again, and most times, again, from what I see in the research, that it does happen again.
Yes, and it does, yes.
So, do you think that therapy would help someone, an abuser, to overcome that?
Well, I used to think not, but now that I've heard some people that I'm working with and what I've seen, they can, and they can be helped, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yep. But if someone's going through something that traumatic, it's best for them, in your opinion, for them to get up and leave before it gets worse.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and they could get away and then just say, if you go through the counseling through this program, then maybe they could, but they don't need to stay under the household with them while they're going through all of the therapy now. So, because...
I would think that'd be kind of tough to be there in their presence. You go through something like that. It's not just the physical, it's the mental. And if you have kids, then the kids are witnessing all this, and that can't be good for them growing up.
Well, no, and that's the thing. Most of the time it happens that way, but in my instance, he was very careful not to do it in front of the kids. So that was the whole purpose of me writing my book. So that's why on the outside it looked like we had, the perfect family, and even people thought that when they were around us, that he would just take it out on me, not in front of the kids. So sometimes it is, they will abuse the children too, but sometimes, they don't abuse their children. So it's, it's isolated cases, Sometimes it could go either way.
Yeah, the way I look at it is that, again, men and women are abusers. There are abusers that are male and female. I'm not saying that everyone is, but you do have abusers that are on both ends of the spectrum, But if someone could, the way I'm seeing it, that there's like a degree of power on their part, but also a degree of them unleashing whatever crap that happened in their lives. They're taking it out on the easy target. All right, on that note, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back on the UCW radio show with author Patty McCall.
On behalf of Futures Without Violence, I want to say thank you to everybody who made the 2012 National Conference on Domestic Violence and Healthcare our best ever. There were 1,000 people here from all over the world. There were over 170 presentations ranging from sex trafficking to PTSD and its effects, to child exposure to violence, and to clinical practice on healthcare. One of the great things about our conferences is we partner with so many different groups. It's not just about Futures Without Violence, it's about Futures Without Violence partnering with the Department of Health and Human Services, with the World Health Organization, with Centers for Disease Control, with the Academy of Pediatrics and the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, and with some of the greatest universities in our nation. Thank you, everybody, for making this an extraordinary conference. We look forward to seeing you again in 2014, and thanks again for the work that you do on a daily basis to keep people safe and to heal those who are hurt. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and together we will create Futures Without Violence.
I believe we can achieve it. I believe.
That was music from Lee Hawkins. Believe it or not, my buddy Lee Hawkins, he's a writer for the Wall Street Journal. So what a voice, huh? And now we're going to listen to some music from the movie called The Pure Film. Okay, and that's a project that's my other friends of mine, Stephanie, Kelsey, David, a project that they have that they initiated to help to not only prevent but bring awareness to child trafficking. It's a billion-dollar industry, and they're trying to do their part to bring some attention to it. So this is a song from that project, from that film, that documentary that they're doing. Take a listen to it, and if you want to get involved, they need all the help they can get, financing, donations, whatever it is, because it's also attached to a nonprofit. Just go to thepurefilm.com. Again, that's thepurefilm.com, and check it out and find out more of what this is about. I'm behind it 100%, but definitely reach out to them and see what you can do. Anyway, here's a song from the movie.
Many seasons I have walked along the shore, wishing for some way to find the word. This wandering is for. Take a breath and know it's not in vain. Yeah, I look around, I have been to this place before, but little things, they seem to somehow change. I remember that boat being night transport. From afar they seem to stay the same. To choose your life or lose your chance to win. Hey, you've got to use your life, not live to do it all again. Yeah, do it all again.
Many seasons he has walked beside my door, appearing like he knows not what to say.
Choose your life or lose your chance to win. Hey, you've got to use your life, not live to do it all again. Hey, you've got to choose your life or lose your chance to win. Hey, you've got to use your life, not live to do it all again. Or lose your chance to win. Hey, you've got to use your life, not live to do it all again. Hey, you've got to choose your life or lose your chance to win. Hey, you've got to use your life, not live to do it all again. Hey,
right, we're back on the UCW radio show with author Patty McCall, and we left off. We were talking about Patty. We were talking about abuse and how I guess abusers feel some sort of power, and whatever nonsense was going on in their lives, they just unleash it on the person that's the recipient of this abuse.
Yes, and see, that's a lot of it. And so I've realized that, the more that I've listened to these counselors and stuff, as far as being able to realize that. And so I can see that because, my ex, went through a lot of stuff as he was growing up. And so even though that's not giving him an excuse, I'm just saying, but if he would have went to a counselor and had somebody help him through all of that, then he probably would have not taken it out on me, right?
Right.
So,
but you're understanding. See, and I guess it's important. There's no excuse. 100%. There's no excuse for abusing anyone, verbally, mentally, physically, in any way, shape, or form. If you have a spouse and you're doing it, you know what? You're wrong. You need help. Get psychiatric help. Get whatever help you need to get because it's wrong. But what I'm saying is that when someone is going down that road and doing it. For anyone that is getting it or even giving it, okay, understanding why this is happening can actually help you to deal with the pain.
Yes.
Doesn't mean that you're going to doesn't mean that you're going to stay with the person, but you need to understand it so you can move forward.
Yes, because don't put the blame on yourself. Mm-hmm. See, and that's what you do a lot of times when you're going through that. You're blaming yourself because they're telling you it's your fault, that you didn't cook their dinner right or you didn't, do something right or, you know what I'm saying? And so you didn't fold their clothes right or you didn't, just stupid stuff like that. They might, just take it out on you. And so, or if they've had a bad day or something, so, yeah, I'm understanding a lot of that it's not right. Mm. So that's the reason. And people are like, Patty, I can't hardly believe that because I'm so strong now.
Right.
It's like, and they're like, but I was very young then, and and so that's why I'm really reaching out to the teenagers, their relationships, and we're talking about that, and that's why we're working on a couple of these educational videos, working with the teenagers, and so they can realize the signs in their relationships. So that's another target of the, pain organization and what we're doing now.
So you're actually, your book, Unmasking the Pain Within, basically is broad-based where it can help a teenage couple or an individual, and it can also help someone that is middle-aged probably going through this, allowing them to understand.
Yes, and like I said, I've had just as many men read my book because it's an easy read, and it's only 100 pages, but, they'll be like, oh, my goodness. And so I think they've learned from it, too, maybe what they shouldn't do or something, and that it is hurting, whoever that they're with. And so even though in the storyline, like I said, that's the reason a script's being written from it now is because the storyline is really going to make a feature film. It's not just all about abuse. It's my whole life and, kind of how I dealt with things and my faith. My faith really got me through what I think and why I am doing what I'm doing now. So sometimes you go things through a reason, for a reason in your life and realize, this is why I'm supposed to do what I'm doing, to help others. And so that's the way I look at it now. And when people are like, oh my goodness, I feel so sorry for you. I said, don't feel sorry for me. I've overcome, I've moved on, and I'm helping others. So, and you can too, and that's what I try to tell people, just if you, to heal from, and I encourage whoever it is to, even if you're not a writer, to write a journal, get it out, just write it on paper.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Patty. You know, you've been through a traumatic, dramatic situation in your life. Your kids witnessed you, you know, go through these changes because obviously when you picked up and you left, they had to be questions as to why.
Oh yes, and that wasn't easy. Believe you me, it was it was kind of an ordeal. Of course my son was out of the house and he was older, so he had kind of experienced it, and he had been through some of it. You know, he had verbally, abused him, quite a bit, and then but he really didn't. My daughter's really had a hard time, realizing why I was divorcing. And so for a while there, and my one daughter was going off to college, but my younger daughter really, that was the thing. I tried to get through and get all my kids raised, but my youngest daughter, still didn't realize, because that was her dad, why I was divorcing. It's still hard on the kids no matter what.
Of course. But once they understand the why, then it's like, Daddy, how dare you? Yeah.
And so it's really opened their eyes to a lot of things, I think, after the book came out. And, so I hope that they don't follow in my footsteps. And, well, actually, no, I know they didn't, because my one daughter actually left somebody when the book came out that I felt like was going to be the same way toward her as her dad was toward me. And so if that was the best thing that happened with the book come out, I really think that she saw that. And so, because I tried to talk to her before that, he was trying to isolate her from her friends. He was trying to, do different things that I saw. Wouldn't let her speak out, because she has a very strong opinion. And I saw him, you don't need to say that. Oh, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, great. And so, but she left him when the book came out. So, and she's got a great guy now. Both of my daughters, have great guys in their life. And so, I feel good as a mom, and all three of my kids are on the right track. They're very respectable kids, so I know in that instance I did what I was supposed to do, and so I feel like I should, and that's hard for me to say because I don't want to tell women to stay in there, but in my instance, I did get my kids where they're all, raised, and like I said, they're doing good, but I sure would not have stayed in it, if I would have known a little bit more of what I know now than what I'm,
That leads into my next question, that if you knew back then what you know now, would you have stood the course and dealt with all the abuse up until your kids grew up?
No, I wouldn't have. Okay. Because, it's hard to say because, like I said, I feel so proud of them, but I think I should have left, basically when it got so bad and when I caught him in the second act of cheating, I should have left that time. I really should have. So I should have just said, okay, I've got to, but I was so worried about, I guess, my kids having that, that life that I didn't have, as far as, being in activities in school and being able to have things and yada, 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 so, but I just thought I was supposed to, stay in it to get them raised, but I know differently now, so no, I wouldn't have.
Well, you can save, with your book, Unmasking the Pain Within, you can actually save someone from dealing with that situation, thinking that, okay, this is the cookie cutter we're supposed to be in no matter what happens. You abuse me, you can abuse me mentally, physically, but I'm supposed to stay here and go through it. That's not the way things are nowadays.
No. And that's what I want to share with ladies, no, don't do that. And
Men too.
And then, like I said,
Men too.
yeah,
Don't-
well, men too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And then, like I said, because I have heard those stories, and I'm telling men, don't let and a lot of wives I've heard throw things, hit them in the head, and do stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
I'm like, that's you need to just walk away and cool off. There's no sense in all that, And
You have some violent. You have some violent women out there. I know that.
yeah, I mean it's not a laughing matter. But then you know what I'm saying? I didn't really realize how many men and I'm glad that they're starting to speak out about it. Because there again, the abuse is abuse, and no one needs to take it. So I mean, I really think these videos that we're doing, I'd love to have one about that. I haven't got to that point yet, but if there's someone that has a short film or something like that, I'd love to see it. I encourage people to to have some short films made like that where the woman is and the guy's more calm and and understanding, and I'd love that. Yeah,
because I mean, there are situations. It goes both ends, both ways. I like what you're doing, Patty. Your book, and you're going to make it into a film. I know it's going to be a great success because people need to hear this. They need to know that it's not okay to do such a thing, and if such a thing is getting done, look for the signs. You have to look for the signs. They're there. You're just blind to it because you're not aware. So be aware, and that's what it's about, being aware.
Yes, that's definitely true. And, I want to say the Bare Bones International Film Festival, Bare Bones, they are part of what we're doing to make a difference and get the word out there. People can enter their short films, their films, their documentaries. Best song we had this last year even. Someone wrote a song for us. And all of that can be submitted. She even opened the entries up June 1st for next year in April for any of that, for us to present the Pain Award to them. Okay. So this will be our 6th Pain Award right now. So I encourage everybody, that way through the media, we're making a difference. And if they will submit anything that has to do with prevention and awareness to that festival, then I will be there to present them with an award. And so it's a great thing, that Bare Bones is collaborating with us on this, and we're growing. And eventually, I'd even like to have the Pain Award be given at the Sundance Film Festival, So we're
why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that way, if we're nationwide, wow, we can, really make a difference and get the awareness out there. So, and that's where we're a little different, from, a lot of this, like I said, I visit the shelters and I have the awareness out there for the shelters, but, our organization is, making a difference through the media. And,
well, you're utilizing the media to get the word out there, and again, it's your quest because you feel you need to pay this forward for
yes,
and that's what you're doing here. So you started a nonprofit, you have that, okay? You have the book that you authored, Unmasking the Pain Within, and now you're looking to make a film, okay? Where you're raising capital for that right now. Yes, we are.
Soon we're going to have the Indiegogo app site. I wish we had it right now, but be looking forward to that. And then if anybody would like to help us on this quest on producing these short films, we have a site that is www.pain, P-A-I-N, pridepacks.com, P-R-I-D-E, PACS, P-A-C-K-S, .com, all one word. If you go on there and purchase something, we get a percentage of what you purchase, and there's not just our logo and the ribbon with the mask on it, is purple for domestic violence. We also have NFL items, We have, I love my dad that's in the Navy or the Army, or, so we also, we have items like that on there that you could go on and purchase. But if you just go to our site, you can purchase anything on there, and we get credit for that.
Okay, so if anyone that's listening to the show, go to pain.pridepacks.com, and anything you purchase, whether it be from an NFL team, NBA, whatever it is there, and you're going through that particular link, you're actually helping Patty to help others and produce these short films that'll help nationally, internationally. I mean, this is global, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you mentioned, and I'm going to say this because I think it's important. You mentioned that they, military things they can buy on there too, Navy, this and that. And you come, I mean, your father, and this is we spoke about earlier, is a military man.
Yes.
Okay, and you come from a tough breed, and this is you coming from a tough breed, and you went through this anyway.
Yes, and I'm also working with a lady at Camp Pendleton who is a Marine wife, and she's part of our organization also, and she's on the show Marine Wives. And so we have an episode that will be airing on that also with our organization. Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have any particulars on what network is that on, Marine Wives?
Goodness, I'm not sure yet, because I think it's their first episode. They were shopping it to several different ones, so I hate to say I'm not sure yet. Which station it's going to be on.
Oh, well, they're working on it.
They can Google it, maybe. Yeah, maybe if they Google it, yes, it should be out shortly on one of the major networks.
Okay, well, then we're going to keep track of that, because you guys are going to be featured on there on that show at some point, which I think is fantastic. And all you need is the exposure, and I urge anyone that's listening, okay, if you have anyone that you know of that you may think is going through an abusive situation, go buy this book. It's an easy read, Unmasking the Pain Within. Put it in their laps. Let them read it. Let them understand it's okay to realize what you're going through, but it's also okay for you to leave.
Yes, and if they want a signed book, if you want to hit me up on Facebook, Patty McCall, author, actress. I can, I'll send you a signed book. I have a PayPal account, and we can, we'll just do that too if you want a signed one from me.
Well, there you go. They can get an autographed book from Patty McCall, and just go to Facebook, bring up the name, and you'll find it right there. I'm going to be obviously tweeting this show, so people, around the world will be listening to it, and they're going to get a better idea of what is going on, and then people can, again, if they want to get involved, they can get involved by either going to pain.pridepacks.com or going to support by going to Amazon or somewhere else and purchasing Unmasking the Pain
Barnes
Within.
and Noble, too.
Barnes and Noble. Yeah, you can go on your little what are those little those books, those electronic readers they have, whether it be a Kindle.
Well, I'm just getting that set up. So I am just, I'm in the process of that right now for them to have it on the e-reader and stuff. So it might not be available right at this point, but it will be soon.
So they can get it on the Kindle, on iTunes. They can get it on the Nook and the Schmook and everything else, whatever else, and the Google Reader, whatever you have going on over there. And definitely, I think that people should reach out and do what they need to do to try to support your cause, and because I think it's a great thing, because this is like the how can I put it, I'm gonna say it's like the silent killer of spirit. Okay.
Oh yeah, and that's very true. Because you want to be able to hold your head up, and but sometimes you're just in so much pain inside, that you can't. And I know these ladies, it's hard, and men too, So I'm just like, come on, let's be able to share with each other and heal.
Yeah, and your support, because look, I mean, I think Al Pacino said it the best when in a film that he made, Scent of a Woman, when he said, "There's a prosthetic if you lose an arm or a leg. There's no prosthetic for a broken spirit." Okay, so it's good that you're having that support.
Oh, that's one of my favorite films.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's great that you're having that support. I mean, that support, I think, is enormous for anyone that's going through this.
Yes, it definitely is. And I'm so thankful that you are helping us get the word out there. And, it's nice to have a guy on our side and that really, can speak out. So I really appreciate you doing this.
No problem, Patty. I'm definitely behind you, and the UCW radio show is behind you and what you're doing. And any way we can help, definitely, just let us know, and we'll see what we can do. But for our listeners, again, I can't stress this enough. If you're a man, a woman, it doesn't matter. If you're a child going through stuff, speak up. Okay, Don't keep going through it, because you have children that get abused, and they put on that smile like you did, Patty, like you did. That smile, that happy face, that Susie Homemaker. Hey, great thing.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you're not. You're masking all that pain, and so. It's better to speak to someone, anyone. Speak to a friend. Speak to, if you're in school, go to your school counselor. If you're at work, if you're older, just go to speak to someone. Let someone know what you're going through, because once you do that, you're opening up the spigot for you to get past and realize what you're involved in.
Yes, and that's true. And we do have pain. There's several of them on Facebook. If they will go on there and like us, that would be good too. So the one with the purple logo. There's several different ones there, but when they see pain with the purple capital P period, A period, I period, N period, with the purple logo with the mask, and the purple ribbon on it, unmask the pain.
Okay,
so.
Excellent. Patty, I commend you on what you're doing, and I do wish you all the luck in the world with producing the movie for Unmasking the Pain Within. I think you have something that is not only going to do well, okay, in distribution. I also think you're serving a purpose and you're paying it forward, and I feel bad that you had to go through what you went through, but sometimes you have to be the sacrificial lamb in order to spread the word as far as do not do this. Right.
And that's what I've realized, and I hope I can make a difference, in someone's life and give them hope to heal, overcome, prevent, and empower them. So
I think you're going to do it. And again, I thank you for coming on the show. And for our listeners, go to pain.pridepacks.com. Go support Unmasking the Pain Within. Even if you're not buying their products, you're buying an NFL item, whatever it is, go through that particular link. And then you'll be doing something to help not only one person, but helping a whole series of people in the United States or even abroad. You don't know what this book is actually doing for people. So definitely support it. Do your best and do what you can to help Patty McCall get through this and make this happen and continue to do what she's doing. Because, Patty, you're doing a fantastic job. You're doing a great thing for men, women that are dealing with abusive issues.
Okay, well, thank you. And check back with us in October or so. Maybe we'll have the Indiegogo up and we can talk about that.
Well, we're going to have you back on the show for sure, Patty, once you get everything rocking and rolling. And, we're going to have you back on to talk about it because I think there's still more to talk about. We just don't have, a lot of time to go into everything. But we'll bring you back on to get an update and find out what's going on. Yeah, find out what's going on in your world with Unmasking the Pain Within. And again, our listeners. You can get an autographed copy. Just go to Facebook, put an Unmasking the Pain Within. It'll pop up. Go to Google, whatever it is. You'll see Patty's name. She's not hidden. You can find her, get the information, and do what you need to do, not only for yourself, but for your kids, for the people around you, and you have yourself a better life.
Well, thank you for having me. And October's National Awareness Month, so we'll talk soon then.
Definitely, Patty. Thank you so much, and we'll have you back on soon.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.